He's just staring at me. See if I can zoom in here. He's probably gonna move as I go down the trail here. Hello. I'm about 20 feet away. Oh, there goes that mama. Go on. That must be mom over there. There's mom. And there's Junior. Come on. Okay. I'm not gonna bother you. He's just kind of. Go on, mama. Come on, Junior. I don't have to run. I'm friendly. There's Junior back there. Interesting. So, welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads from the Trail. And I have a tag for you. I was tagged by Lekden at Reading from the Depths, although YouTube didn't notify me. But I found this video out. I think I watched Pat's video and then went back and checked Lekden's out and noticed I was tagged. So I'm glad I did. But this is the Philosophy of Reading book tag. Lekden talks about the wheel turning day, the Buddhist holiday recognizing Śākyamuni Buddha, and the first kind of sermon where he taught the Four Noble Truths, the philosophical fundamentals or foundations of thought. And that kind of spurred him to do a 4 kind of question or prompt book tag. And so we're going to dive right into this. And then in the description, I will tag some other people to play along. First question is, what is your own personal philosophy of reading? And I think my philosophy when it comes to reading is to read books that I enjoy, to kind of stretch myself and try out other authors and genres. For the longest time, I kind of just stuck with kind of what worked for me, and that was great and all, but it does tend to get a little stale. So kind of learning about new genres, new authors has been a really interesting kind of perspective, and my philosophy has kind of changed. And so, yeah, I mean, it's nice to stick to what you know, but also branch yourself out. Question 2, when did you first come to think of yourself as a reader? That's a good question. I mean, definitely not as a young adult, but probably over the course of the last 15 years, probably I've considered myself a reader, especially over the course of the last probably 2 or 3 years, as I've been way more consistent about it. And then obviously it helps having a booktube channel where, you know, you're reading stuff as part of reading events or buddy reads and other things. So yeah, that's my answer. Probably over the course of the last 15 years, I've probably considered myself a reader, and more so over the last 2 or 3 years. Question 3, what are some goals or hopes that you have in your reading life? Well, one of my goals was to read everything that Stephen King wrote, and up into recently, and when he launched Never Flinch in May, I had done that. That was one of my goals. Another goal was to try out some different authors, different genres, and I've started to do that more. And I think being on BookTube has really branched myself out. I think some other goals that I have is to read all of Louis L'Amour's works. I think that's a kind of a long-term life goal I think I have. I just am fascinated by Louis L'Amour. I enjoy a lot of his books, short stories. So I would like to do that over the course of my lifetime. There's some other authors that I have my eye on about making sure I stay on point with reading all of their works, you know, Joe Abercrombie, the Dresden Files, you know, those type of things. But kind of a large goal would be Louis L'Amour And then obviously I'm getting into some other authors like Howard and Lovecraft and John D. MacDonald and Ed McBain. I'd like to read all the 87th Precinct novels. So yeah, I have some goals and hopes, I guess you could say. And then number 4, what is part of your current reading life right now that is important or exciting to you? Well, obviously the reading event, Indie Author August, has been really exciting. It's been nice to converse with some of these indie authors. I've had some indie authors reach out to me when they saw some of the first videos this month and send me books. I've got a couple books that I'm going to showcase later in the month that I received from some indie authors as they've gotten wind of what's going on. But it's been great. I think that this is going to have some legs, and it'll probably circle around next time, and I can make it kind of bigger, more inclusive with some other co-hosts, just to try to help get the word out there. Nicole has been phenomenal helping me with it. It's creating a Google sheet, spreading all the authors. It's been great. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Sorry there, I had to share the trail. I had a mountain biker coming through, so but yeah, that has been really exciting, Indie Author August. You know, in terms of what's important as well as balance, that's always going to be the big thing with me, is I tend to go 150% of the things. So finding balance with all of this, especially BookTube, you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Keeping consistent, keeping positive, doing what I can. Don't feel like I'm obligated on everything. You know, they say one of the hardest things you ever learn is no. And so, yeah, eventually I'm gonna have to say no to some things. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun right now. And then last is obviously it's tagging others, and I will do that in description. I want to thank Lekden at Reading from the Depths for the tag. I'm sorry this took me so long, sir. Again, YouTube, the notifications can be fickle at times. Other people have told me the same when I tag them, but yeah, that is my take on the philosophy of reading Booktag. Thanks again, Lekden. I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you later.